It was an ordinary afternoon, or so I thought. The kind of day where everything felt calm and peaceful. I had just finished my work, and decided to take a long, hot bath to relax. The warm water was soothing, the steam filling the small bathroom, making it feel like a sanctuary of comfort. I had no idea that in the next few minutes, my world would be flipped upside down. The house was unusually quiet. I could hear the faint hum of the television in the next room, where my sister, his mother, was likely watching her favorite show. My nephew Timmy, who had always been the quiet, obedient child, had been staying with me for a few days. He was a sweet kid, but there was something about him that always made me a little uneasy. Something I couldn't quite put my finger on. As I sank deeper into the water, letting the warmth ease the tension in my muscles, I closed my eyes and let out a deep sigh. It had been a stressful week, and I was just trying to forget about everything. But the moment I closed my eyes, I heard a soft creak from the hallway. I thought nothing of it at first. Maybe it was just the house settling or the wind rattling the windows. But then, I heard it again, closer this time. A light step, almost like someone was sneaking toward the bathroom. My heart skipped a beat. I froze, straining to listen. I had locked the bathroom door, so it wasn't possible for anyone to just walk in. Or was it? The sound of footsteps grew louder, and suddenly, I heard the distinct sound of the doorknob turning. My stomach dropped. Who was out there? Was it Timmy? I called out, but no answer came. I wasn't sure if I should open the door or wait. The suspense was killing me. The water that had felt so comforting just moments ago now felt suffocating. My mind raced. Could it be someone trying to scare me? Or was something much darker going on? A voice, Timmy's voice, called my name softly, sending a chill down my spine. "Aunt, are you in there?" His voice was barely above a whisper. But why would he be whispering? I had never heard him speak like that before. My pulse quickened. I tried to keep calm, but the atmosphere felt suddenly heavy. I had to know what he wanted. "What is it, Timmy?" I managed to say, my voice trembling slightly. There was a long pause before he answered. I need you," he whispered. There was something strange in his tone. It didn't sound like the innocent request of a child, but something more demanding, almost pleading. I gripped the edge of the bathtub, my fingers digging into the porcelain, and I took a deep breath. Was I imagining things? Or had Timmy's behavior taken a dark turn? "Come in," I said, hesitating only for a moment. The door creaked open slowly, and I turned my head to see him standing there. His small figure framed by the doorway. He looked like the same sweet nephew I had always known, but his eyes, they were different. Darker, almost like he was hiding something from me. I blinked, wondering if I was just tired or overthinking things. But as he stepped closer, I noticed something that made my blood run cold. His expression was twisted, not in a playful way, but with something else behind it. It wasn't a face I recognized. "Aunt," Timmy said, his voice low. "I've been waiting for you to notice me." He stepped closer to the edge of the bathtub. "You've always been so busy with everything else. But I'm here now, and I need you." His words didn't make sense, but there was something in the way he said it, something unsettling in his gaze. A sinking feeling spread through my chest. This wasn't my nephew. Not anymore. This wasn't a simple child's game. My mind screamed at me to do something, but I was paralyzed. Timmy reached out a hand, his fingers brushing against my shoulder as he leaned closer. His breath was cold on my skin, and I felt a shiver run down my spine. I wanted to push him away, but I couldn't. I couldn't move. "I've waited so long for this," he murmured, his voice strangely calm and steady now. "And now, I won't let you go." I could barely breathe, the air thick with tension. What was happening? Why was Timmy acting like this? Was this a game, or had something changed in him? I struggled to stay composed, but fear and confusion clouded my thoughts. This wasn't right. I had to get out of the bathroom. I had to escape. My instincts screamed at me to stand up and run, but I was frozen in place. Timmy leaned closer, his face inches from mine, his cold fingers now pressing into my arm. "I want to be close to you," he whispered again, and something in his voice made my blood run cold. The sound of his words was almost hypnotic, but there was no warmth or affection behind them, only an eerie, unsettling calm. And then it hit me. This wasn't just a strange moment with my nephew. This wasn't about innocence or family love. This was something far darker. My mind raced for answers. How had he changed so suddenly? What had happened to him? Could I trust him? Was there something I missed? Something I should have noticed before now? As I tried to make sense of it all, I realized with a shock that I might never truly understand what was happening. There was no explanation for this. No reason behind his strange behavior. Only the disturbing realization that the person I thought I knew was gone, replaced by someone, or something, else entirely. Timmy's fingers tightened around my wrist, and I could feel the pressure mounting. The suffocating grip that refused to let go. I knew I needed to break free, to escape the grasp of whatever this was. But a sense of paralysis kept me rooted in place. The fear and uncertainty clouded my every move. "Please," I whispered, my voice trembling. "What are you doing? What do you want?" But he said nothing more. His eyes were fixed on me, and his expression was one of cold determination. It was clear now. He had no intention of letting me go. I struggled against the grip, my heart pounding in my chest. Every instinct screamed at me to break free. But something about Timmy's stare kept me rooted, as if he had cast some kind of spell over me. My mind was racing. I had to think of something, anything to get out of this situation. But no matter how much I tried to move, the air around me felt thick, almost suffocating. Timmy's presence was overpowering. "Aunt, you're not going anywhere," Timmy whispered again, his voice so quiet it sent chills down my spine. His hand, which had been resting on my arm, moved upward slowly, as if he was exploring me, testing my reaction. I wanted to scream, to push him away, but the words stuck in my throat. Why was he doing this? What had happened to the sweet, innocent boy who once looked up to me? The Timmy I had known had always been shy, polite, and full of curiosity, but now it was as if someone or something else had taken control of him. The door to the bathroom creaked again, and I quickly turned my head, hoping to see my sister standing there. But the hallway remained empty. I could hear faint footsteps outside the door, but they were distant. It was just the two of us now. I needed to act fast. I tried again to push Timmy's hand away, but he was stronger than I anticipated. His grip tightened, sending waves of panic through me. The warmth of the water no longer comforted me. It was stifling, and I felt as if I were drowning. Timmy leaned even closer, his breath now cold against my neck. "You're mine now," he whispered, his voice low and unnerving. "And you always have been. I've waited for you to understand." His words sent a shudder through me, the gravity of his words settling in. This wasn't just about a child's game anymore. This was something else, something dark, something predatory. I gasped for breath, my mind swirling in confusion. I couldn't let him control me. I had to fight back. But how? What was happening to him? I searched for any sign of the boy I once knew. The nephew who would laugh and play with me, who would ask for bedtime stories. But all I could see now was a cold, calculating stranger in his place. I remembered the small bottle of shampoo on the edge of the tub. Without thinking, I grabbed it and threw it at Timmy. It hit him squarely in the chest, breaking his concentration for a moment. I used that split second to scramble away from him, trying to stand up in the tub. But the water was slippery, and my legs felt weak. "Don't run away from me," Timmy said, his voice now laced with anger. He took a step forward, his eyes blazing with a strange intensity. I backed away, my heart racing in terror. He wasn't just trying to scare me anymore, he wanted to hurt me. My mind raced as I struggled to find a way out. I couldn't stay in the bathroom, there was no escape. But I couldn't run out into the house either. What if he followed me? What if I wasn't strong enough to stop him? In desperation, I grabbed the nearest towel and wrapped it around my body, trying to protect myself. But it didn't feel like enough. Timmy took another step toward me, and I could see the dark determination in his eyes. There was no fear in him, only cold, unfeeling control. "Please," I whispered, my voice trembling. "I don't know what you've become, but this isn't you. Please stop." But Timmy didn't respond. He simply reached out again, and before I could react, he gripped my arm so tightly I thought he might break it. The terror I felt in that moment was overwhelming. I had no idea how to make him stop. Nothing I said seemed to reach him. It was as if the boy I had once known was completely gone, replaced by something darker, something dangerous. In that moment, a memory flashed in my mind. It was something so faint, so fleeting, but it held the key to understanding what was happening. I remembered that just a few weeks ago, Timmy had been acting strangely. There had been whispers of odd behavior, strange dreams, and a shift in his personality that no one had paid attention to. But now it all clicked. He wasn't just going through a phase, something had changed in him. Something beyond natural. I had to get out. I had to survive this. I could hear my sister's voice faintly from outside the door, but it was too far. Timmy and I were alone in this battle. The fear made me stronger. I had to fight no matter what. With every ounce of strength I had left, I wrenched my arm free from Timmy's grip. I shoved him away, and for a moment, I thought I had made it. But then he lunged at me, faster than I had anticipated. His hand wrapped around my wrist, pulling me back toward him with an almost unnatural force. I was trapped. In a desperate move, I grabbed the shampoo bottle again, this time using it like a weapon. I smashed it against his face, hoping to disorient him enough to escape. He staggered back, momentarily dazed. But then his eyes refocused with an even more terrifying intensity. "Why do you resist?" Timmy asked, his voice oddly calm again, as if he were lecturing me. "You're mine. You've always been mine." His grip loosened just slightly. That was all I needed. I bolted from the tub, ignoring the cold air, as I wrapped the towel tighter around myself. My legs were shaky, but adrenaline surged through me. I ran toward the bathroom door, my heart in my throat. I had to get away from him. Whatever had taken hold of Timmy wasn't something I could face alone. I slammed the door open, only to come face to face with my sister, who had heard the commotion. She looked startled, but I didn't have time to explain. There was no time to say anything. "Timmy?" I cried out. But when I turned to look back, he was gone. The bathroom was empty, as if nothing had happened at all. My sister rushed to my side, but I couldn't explain what had just occurred. What I had seen, what I had felt, didn't make sense. Timmy was no longer the sweet boy who loved to play. He was something else now, something dangerous. But as my sister comforted me, I could see the faintest shadow of Timmy in the hallway, watching from the shadows. His dark eyes glinted in the dim light, and the haunting feeling of his presence lingered. I didn't know what was coming next, but one thing was certain. This was far from over. As the days passed, things grew more strange. The house felt different. Timmy's behavior became even more erratic, and no one seemed to notice. My sister didn't believe me when I tried to tell her what happened. She thought I was imagining it, that I was stressed out. But deep down I knew the truth. Timmy wasn't just a normal boy anymore. I never felt safe again. I knew that the darkness that had taken hold of Timmy wasn't something that could be easily undone. And I had a feeling that soon, everyone would realize the truth, too late. If you want to hear more about what happened next, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. The story's not over yet, and there's much more to uncover.